Hello everyone and welcome to the Smart Investor. So the Smart Investor, why? Because we are going to be educated. I'm going to educate you, and one thing I want to do today is I want to show you how you can make 8,000%. That's right, 8,000% return. It's possible. You just have to learn. You just have to understand. You have to follow, and you have to educate yourself on how it means and what happens. First of all, you need to understand one thing and one thing only. We are purely working with the chart. We are purely working with the risk, with the price risk. What I mean by price risk is I essentially worried how the movement of the stock impacts my investments. Hear me out here, hear me out. I am not asking you to try to predict the stock price based on how well the company is doing with its financials. There's very little evidence that there's a high correlation between the two of them. In fact, I will tell you that the most, apart from what you've heard about NVIDIA and 2,500% in 1 year, the most successful investor, Jim Simmons, worth $40 billion, manager of a hedge fund, was a mathematician. He wasn't a financial guy. He wasn't looking at financials to say, hey, let me see if this company is going to make money so I could invest in it. That's not how it's done. How it's done in the real world is you need to differentiate between the credit risk and the price risk. Once you understand that and you learn and then you realize the potential. For example, let's take a look at NVIDIA. Look how NVIDIA, this is a chart of NVIDIA from May 24th to today, October 11th. Do you see how it trades? You see the 5250 moving average right here, right? Up and down, up and down, up and down. Obviously, when I see something like that, it means opportunity. It means opportunity because there's volatility, right? Volatility works very well with options. As you could see here, between May and June 17, well, I hate to tell you, you got to learn something. And if you're here for me to tell you what's going to happen next, no. You're here to understand how it works so that you could apply it for yourself. This is much easier. Of course, it takes work, and anything takes work. Can be very, very rewarding. So, look at the way it trades above the 50 moving average. Right? Between May and June, it was the greatest of time, is the best of time. That stock went from $100 up to $140. And then things starts going south. And it starts to trade below the 52-hour average. It kind of recouped. But once it started hitting, and it went from July into August, it got hit and hit and hit and hit. This was the period during which guys like Warren Buffett were selling. Hopefully you weren't buying at that time. But then, lo and behold, we went back up again. As soon as we break to the 50 moving average, we're back again. And then we break and we are down again. You notice 100, 130, 130, 100, 100, 130, 130, 100, 100, 130. Guess what's going to happen next? Okay? Is that simple? But hold on. We can't go back and tap into the trades. Now, what are you going to do now? You notice, technically speaking, we're heading down. We're heading south with everything that's happening in the market. Probably now is the best time to put a put on NVIDIA. Now, basically, what are we saying here? Well, it's like the weather, right? The weather goes up and the weather goes down, right? It gets hot in the summer and it gets cold in the winter. Simple as that, right? So I kind of have an idea what's happening, and this is what you're seeing here. So what did I do? For the longest time, it wasn't doing anything. I was off cycles, right? But then I noticed this move up right there. And I said, you know what? Whenever we start, we go for at least 134 because it's what we've been doing in the past. Why? I really don't care. I mean, there's not that much news that came out. I mean, earnings came out August 29th. There was a dividend on September 12th. Earnings came out in May. And, there was a split in June. That's it. There was, some news, not company news, but company news about the company. But apart from that, there was no significant situation. So what do? I see this. I say, you know what? This thing is breaking out. What do you do? What do you do in a situation like that? Well, you put up a trade. But the thing is, it's got to be a very short trade to really maximize your gain in a short period of time. But you have to learn from history, which we did. You have to be lucky as well. I mean, luck has a fair amount of situation with it. But what happens? Well, let me take you to my Patreon channel, right? So you could see the trade. I want to show you the trade, right? I put on the trade on the 7th, right? Around $2,300. And we unwound the trade at 140 for 31.80. What did we actually buy, right? Well, we basically bought $2,300 worth of trades. In fact, let me show you the October 7th trade in my Robinhood account. I am buying on October 7th, right here, 10 contracts. I bought 10 contracts on October 7th at 234, and I sold 10 contracts on October 8th for 315, 234 to 315. I'm basically controlling 1,000 shares. So when it goes from 234 to, right, I made $840 profit. As simple as that. $800. Why do I make the $830 $4 profit? It's simple. Look, right? It's 234 minus 315. So basically, the way it works is that I take the 315. Listen to me, and don't forget, subscribe to my channel for more great video like this one. $3.18 minus $2.34, it's 84 cents times 1,000 shares. That's $840. I make $840 in one day. How much is $840? Well, $840 from when you go from 23 to 31, that's about 35% in one day. There are 250 trading days. If I annualize it, it's 250 times 35. That's why I get my 8750. Right? So what's the secret? Well, the secret is simple. A, understand the name. B, understand the way it moves, right? And on that day, if we were to look at the chart of NVIDIA in one day from October 7 to October 8, let's go take a look what happened between October 7 and October 8, right? You see October 7th, October 8th. Now, I kept on going in October 9 and October 10th, well, more or less. But, enough is enough. Don't get greedy. 8,000%, NVIDIA. Understand the product, which is the option. Understand the risk. That thing is going to disappear in 1 month, in 1 week. Take a gain, don't get greedy, and move on. $800 in one day. 8,000%. Simple as that. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel and like what you